What is up, YouTube? It is Gemuzu17 back again. I am back again. Man. Okay, so I've got actually 4 topics to talk about today. And I don't think there will be crazy editing because I'm in the process of upgrading my current laptop. Since I made my last video, I switched laptops and I bought the cheapest Lenovo I could for school because I was running low on funds. I'm gonna be honest, my budget was not very high. So I'm currently saving my money so I can get rid of this replacement intermediate Lenovo that I've got that I like jailbroke out of its original mode. The first topic of today is what's up with blimps? Now what I mean by this is, okay, so blimps were like huge in the media from the 2000s into like the late 2010s. Oh my gosh, it's so weird to think about because it just happened so suddenly. Now, I do not know anything about why they were everywhere in the media, but what I do know is that they were mostly produced in Europe. Or, flown around Eastern Asia. They're massive. They have to be contained in massive hangars, and they are flown to hangars and then flown all over the world. But they take a lot of fuel, they take a lot of air. And for those who did not know this about blimps, there are only like 13 to 15 blimps in existence now, I think it is. Okay, I'm sorry. So there are really 25 blimps, approximately. 25 blimps. I don't know where I got the number 13 to 15 from. They belong to companies. They belong to some of the biggest companies. So that's actually probably a method you could use to like invest or something. Like whatever company has a blimp, that's how you know what to invest in. Because they were obviously rich enough, or rich right now, to the point where they can afford to fly a blimp in random areas around each country, and advertise themselves. Now, what is weird about the media and blimps is that in Nintendo games like Go Vacation and Wii Sports, there are blimps. And not only like, I'm sorry, scratch that. Not really Wii Sports, but Wii Sports Resort, right? So every kind of like resort-driven game that you would see, and not to mention tons of games on Xbox with blimps. Can't really pull up, any examples, but I just know because they're so in. Oh my god! Perfect example. Right now, one of the battle passes, right, in Fortnite, The Simpsons, oh my god, the battle bus is a red blimp. Blimps are everywhere and they're super popular, but there was, the Hindenburg crash. And my granddad told me something about being in New Jersey with like a coworker or something, and they witnessed a blimp crash, or it's like he was with his coworker right after his coworker witnessed the blimp crash. Or not the Hindenburg, but it was like it might have even been a different blimp crash, but the Hindenburg is like a huge event in history because it killed people. Blimps are like a weird esoteric aircraft that nobody talks about, but the media keeps going. It's like they just breathe new life into it whenever they can, but it's weird because there's only like 25 in the world. It's so strange, and like most of them belong to massive companies. I mean, I guess that's kind of all I had to say about that. So for the next topic, I will be talking about the truth behind Dubai chocolate. Now, this, I have to kind of beat around some details on this, but and I've seen this on Instagram. This is the reason why I'm bringing it up here, is because other people have already brought it up, but nobody's talking about it on YouTube in sort of this sort of format, just a genuine commentary format. So, Dubai chocolate, sure, it's a snack, and there's sort of like a little bit of a hype around the snack, just like it was matcha, but before matcha it was avocado toast, and now it's Dubai chocolate, and now we got Labubus, and then since Labubus came up at the same time like Dubai chocolate came up, now we have the two intertwining, and somehow 24 karat gold got thrown in there with it's stuff like that. But what it really is it's a key word for a scat fetish. And it's disgusting, but listen, everybody is entitled to their own beliefs, and if it's for you, it's for you. Okay? To each their own, right? but that's what it is. It is basically, a keyword. It really was for, models who get flown to Dubai. Those real classy type models like escorts who become escorts, and S-class, clearly where there is some like suspicion where they get their money from, and apparently it's from the 1% who like defecation and human feces. And I learned about that and I was like, yo, this is like so plausible, because when you look at, the millennials who take to Reddit to like discuss how they really did understand Dubai chocolate, in the 2000s as something that the 1%, got models to do and paid them hundreds of thousands for, to defecate on them. Oh my gosh. They witnessed how it was keyword hacked through, Generation Alpha's brain rot. Like, they witnessed that. And now we can go back and see through Reddit, like, how they're experiencing it in real time, even though, my generation, Gen Z, is not, it has no knowledge of, like, where it really comes from. It's crazy to see that, because that 1% paid for that to be keyword hacked. Don't trust social media. The news is being influenced by rich folk, okay? And I mean, this is nothing new. Like, that's not a conspiracy. That's very obvious. I'm not gonna explain that. But listen, you see how the money moves, right? And that is basically politics. And politics are driven by the top 1%, who are the donors to these politicians. And the politicians sway the news. And the top 1% even control the news and can pay anchors, pay for segments, pay for time on the air. See it all the time. Anyways, yeah, Dubai chocolate is actually a term for models who get flown to Dubai to make hundreds of thousands of dollars to defecate on the 1% who enjoy it. Now, everybody's different, right? To each their own. It's not like all of the 1% like to be defecated on and play with feces. That is the reality of it, and it has been keyword hacked for Generation Alpha's brain rot that you see while scrolling Instagram Reels. Actually, matter of fact, that brain rot is actually kind of sort of filtering out now. Like, you don't see it as much anymore because people in the, the kids and the people, like, older folks like us, older teens and shit, like, we got old of it so fast. It stopped being funny after like the 6th month it was in rotation. Yeah. See how it comes out of nowhere? Like, if it comes out of nowhere and it has an untraceable origin, that means that there is a level of anonymity to who actually created this stuff and who's putting it in the algorithm. Who's paying to put it in the algorithm by these pages that are bought out and already have 100,000 followers. So that if they have 100,000 followers, then they immediately get something in the algorithm. And this is a rabbit hole that you could follow so deep. Like, account sales happen all the time. I have a 5-character username on Instagram. Oh my God. Once you have a 5-character username, it's almost like they don't message you personally. You have to kind of reach out and see if you're willing to get into the market, but yo, you would not believe how easy it is in like how Instagram just flushes it upon you. Like, just throws it upon you. It's so present and no one knows it. Like, there is a huge money market for 4-letter usernames and 5-letter usernames on Instagram. The 5th topic, and this is about the music industry, or how it's kind of starting to shift, I've noticed, on Instagram. Or like the reels, right? So music reels on Instagram and mixing tips. And these mixing tips by these guys that are like talking into the camera are like, you need to add math into your mixes. Divide it by 3 and to the blah, blah, blah. But take Xavier So Based, for example. How your mixes sound will attract a certain audience. Every mainstream artist probably goes into a studio in LA run by the top mixers, the top music masterers in the country that are making the most money. Like Mike Dean, everything he touches, everything he mixes, masters, produces, literally makes millions and hits 1 billion streams. Not almost every time, but some of these songs are so insane and they sound like, oh, damn, I have that drum in my files. Like, why don't I just use this sound kit specifically? I could find all these files, all these samples, put them in a kit, boom, make a beat, and I just sound like Mike Dean. But it's not just about that. It's about the connection you have. It's about your resource and access to how you mix, right? And a lot of it is done by studio professionals. Basically, what the content is trying to tell you is like, oh, these studio professionals like Mike Dean, like people who mix music for these industry standard artists in the mainstream, like The Weeknd and Two Hollis. Like, Two Hollis does all his own shit. I mean, I'm assuming he has a team behind him because his mom is very well connected. But when you take mixing tips from somebody else like that and try and do math to figure out your mixes, it completely takes the element of like your autonomy in the music away, and it takes away the personality of it. Like they're saying, when you're equalizing a sound, you gotta do it to the third of your other sound in the mid and the high section and you gotta de-ess it, and it's like, okay, let's just stop for a second and think. Some tracks are mixed for nostalgia or to capitalize on a certain sound, and some tracks are mixed to make radio, or like make the radio in your local radio station. Certain radio stations have limits and industry standard mixing that you need to comply with, and Spotify has that sort of limiter thing going on where you like publish it to Spotify and boom, all of a sudden your bass is weirdly, it sounds weird. So that is real. But if you're just being creative with music, you don't have to follow, this strict sort of pattern with your mixing. Like, sure, if you find a preset that you really rock with, then go with that. That's your creativity. You made that preset from scratch, but don't change it based on someone else's mixing tips. Even if they have 5 years of experience more than you, what they make might be a completely different genre, or it literally might suck so bad. And you hear what you make and you're like, I didn't follow this guy's tips and I love what I made. Exactly. It's all about your personal experience. So the more you follow mixing tips from like Instagram Reel, mathematical mixing tips and mastering tips. This is for FL Studios users, by the way. I don't rock with Ableton, and every Ableton user has a very signature look to their music and graphic design, and it's very easy to tell that you use Ableton. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. Okay? Just be creative. Don't follow another person's mixing tips because they don't know your aesthetic. You have a specific aesthetic that you're going for. Again, Xavier So Based. He capitalized so heavily on that jerk trap. Like, it is insane. Just, it screams corner of the internet jerk music that you should have found in like early 2010s when the new boys were still doing their shit. And it works so well. And you listen to one song and the bass overshadows the whole beat. And then you listen to another song and it's like some other person who did the mixing, and it's like a trap snare that's louder than the whole song. And the bass can't be heard. It's like different people just have different styles for doing things in music, and I think don't limit yourself. But yeah, okay, that is the video. Figured I would, start off with like a quadruple whammy, or what was it, hectuple whammy? I just like discussed like 5 or 6 topics. Hectuple whammy. I don't know how you say it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm trying. I got like 3 other commentaries I have yet to release. Trying to get this editing thing figured out. Please bear with me. Thank you for watching. I'm still here. I'm in school though. That's part of the reason why I haven't uploaded in so long, but thank you. Have a wonderful day, no matter your time zone. EST, CST, MST, and PST, okay? Whew, everything. Peace out, everybody.